All right, Liverpool. Oh my goodness, we already have our cosplayers ready at the mics. This is going to be a good one. Are we excited for this one, Liverpool? All right, without further ado, please welcome the cast of Glee. We're starting ladies first with Heather Morris. Yes, keep it going for Heather Morris, Max Adler, Josh Sussman, Kevin McHale, and Matthew Morrison. Liverpool, keep it going for the cast of Glee. He looks good in the throne, I have to say.
Don't worry about it.
Give it up for the cast of Glee, everybody. Welcome, welcome to Liverpool. Just get comfy over there, Heather.
We're gonna spread
She's
out.
posing. I'm loving
Spread
it.
out.
She does it so naturally, as do you.
Thank you, thank you.
Give it up for our amazing cast. This is one of my favorites. I was looking forward to it.
We got some Gleeks in the house.
Gleeks!
Hey!
And we fully understand around 4 p.m. we're going to lose 3/4 of you to the Liverpool game, so it's fine.
That's right. The timing is everything. I'll start with Heather. How are you enjoying Liverpool and Comic-Con so far?
I'm obsessed with it. It's amazing.
You better project.
I'm used to teaching. I teach on dance conventions. I'm used to like big crowds. It's incredible. The energy here is rowdy. It's fun. I know the games are going on today, so all the guys care, and I'm like, what? Sports ball. That's so fun. It's great. I love it.
Max, how are you liking Liverpool?
I love Liverpool. I was here a couple of years ago with my dad doing all the Beatles touring, and it was a much slower town. And I came here now, and everyone's just partying and having fun, and there's a great energy. All of you are so genuine and happy, and giving me these great stories that are so touching. We've been talking about it. You're just your vulnerability and your honesty has been amazing. The energy is great. We appreciate your support, and I love this town.
This is my first time at this side of the world, and I'm having a great time. I love everyone I met. I met so many amazing people, and it's just been so special, and I loved being here, and I'm sad that it's over today.
Yeah, last day.
I've had a great time. Everyone, and just to echo what everyone said, everyone is so nice here. Not to say people in London aren't nice, but the spirit and everybody, it's so open and kind, and like Max said, just sharing your stories with us. We appreciate all of that, and we love that you trust us to share those really, truly deep things and meaningful things to you. And the show has, I think people who like Glee also feel a bond towards it, that a deeper connection, and we fully understand that. And I feel like everybody in the city has been very reflective of that. So we're happy to just sort of be here and soak that up. So thank you for having us.
Yeah. I've been around the block. This is my 3rd time in Liverpool. I keep coming back for more. You keep bringing me here. I love it. No, I did the show The Greatest Dancer, and one of the kids that I mentored was Harrison, and he's from Liverpool, and I just fell in love with the city. There's so many talented people from this city as well, and just the history, the art, the culture is thriving here. So you landed in a good place if you're from here. If not, I'm sure it's great too.
Good for you. Well, obviously, we love the music of Glee, and there's so many reasons to love the show. But for me, it's something that I took away from it was the inclusivity and the acceptance. I think that's something we need to see more of in TV and film. Would you agree? I'll start with you, Matthew.
Yeah, that's been the greatest gift that has kept on giving from this show. It's just the fact that so many people have been touched. TV shows in general, I think, can be sometimes general, but this show in particular had a message that connected with so many people, helped so many people through transitions in their lives. I know we've all been talking about it. So many people have come up to us and just have been crying. They're just they've gone through so much, and this show has helped them, guide them through those tough times in their lives. This at the time, this show was the first show really talking about, teenage pregnancy, gays in high school. Just all these amazing social issues that are just so ubiquitous today. It's just something. It seems kind of normal today, but we were kind of pushing the envelope, and The thing I love most about it is, the show is told through music, and that is the language we all speak. It doesn't matter which language you speak. So it really connected so many people around the world.
Would you agree?
I mean, yeah, he nailed it. I agree with
I'm glad
all
I went first, because I'm sure we all said the same thing.
Yeah, I do think we were speaking about this the other day, where when you watch the show now, some things, it's like, oh, that's wild. We were talking about that, when the show started 13 years ago, and some things you're like, this doesn't age as well as. But I think the show was a transitional piece, within sort of social movement and within pop culture, where it was the bridge between the things we see on TV and in social media now, where, like you said, we are talking about and having an open dialogue about much more in-depth, complicated issues that need to be talked about and addressed, that were sort of just being ignored. And I think Glee brought up every single week these issues in the face of, like, we're going to talk about this, we're going to make fun of ourselves, we're going to cry, and then we're going to do a little song and dance. And it's nice to be able to reflect upon that and see how far, the world has changed since we've done the show. And it's just nice to be a part of that. And I think all of that was just encouraging inclusivity and to make sure that everybody's voice is heard, and everybody, whatever side you're on of anything, it's like, let's talk about it, let's debate it, and make sure that you're still respected when you come to the table. And I think being a part of that has been just truly wonderful.
Something that's just so amazing. The show is so special, and I had some neighbors, some closed-minded neighbors from my hometown who didn't approve of gay people. And after watching the show, they wanted to watch their neighbor be on a show, and they saw Kurt. And through this show, they changed their views about gay people. And I was like, oh my, this show is special. It's just amazing that it's able to influence older people who were closed-minded, and I just can't believe it, and it's such a special show.
Yeah, I remember the episode where my character kisses Chris Colfer's character was just a life-changing moment for me. And I remember, like, when that aired, I was with Josh in D.C. We were speaking at the Kennedy Center. It was like the first time people had come up crying, basically saying, like, their relationship with their parents had been broken for years, and, like, their parents looked at them in a whole different light after that episode, and, like, took them back into the house and embraced them. And I mean, that's 13 years ago. And I look out there right now and I'm seeing, like, tears and emotions, and you're like, people from all over the world, different countries, spanning over a decade. And it's amazing to be a part of a TV show where, like, I was just working in a restaurant and I wanted to, like, have some lines on TV. And now we're a part of something so big, so much bigger than us, and so special, that has changed lives and changed families and allowed people to be themselves and accept themselves and ignore bullies and see bullies for who they are, which is insecure and wrong. And so just to play that part on this show with these people at that time, it's going to be hard to ever top that. And I'm just honored to be here with all of you today talking about that still, and I hope that there are no problems, going forward in the future, and the progress keeps on going, and everyone just is full of acceptance, because we need that. But yeah.
I mean, even 13 years later, it's like I find so many new fans who are still growing up with this show and still discovering it and finding a voice in me and a voice in Naya and a voice in so many other characters that they didn't have before. And there's definitely, since Glee started, there was such an upwards trend. And it translates so much now. When I watch television and seeing representation, it's just widespread. I mean, I always hear, like, oh, I just don't feel like there's enough representation, which absolutely there can always be more. But I feel so proud that we got to kind of just spark it a little bit, and now it just feels, it's just like it comes out of us, it flows through us in art, and it's not so taboo. I really enjoy seeing that personally, just on screen, on the stage, in television, and in homes, mirroring what Josh said, just neighbors and friends who felt uncomfortable about those conversations and now just like celebrate it because their teen or their young child came out. Yeah, I think it's so beautiful.
It is beautiful, and you should be so proud. Give them a round of applause because they did set the bar on this show. They're making change, and as you said, you're opening up the conversation, which is so very important. Heather, we'll start with you for this one. So let's talk about pre-Glee. You mentioned working in a restaurant. Talk about your life before the show and how it changed for you professionally and personally being cast on Glee.
I've had so many lives. It's not even funny. I feel like I've had 3,000 lives. My life before Glee. I danced for Beyonce before Glee. After Beyonce and before Glee, I worked at a pizza shop. Like life goes in ebbs and flows, and you never get that one job that just like catapults you and then you're this like instant star. It's like, once I had done Beyonce, I thought, oh gosh, I'm never gonna have to do a regular job again. No, I went straight back to working at a pizza shop, had to go back and audition for Beyonce. It's like, life goes in ebbs and flows. Yes, Glee was a huge catapult. It changed our lives drastically. And was such a beautiful roller coaster ride. Yes, it was very tough. Celebrity is a tough thing to deal with, but we had each other, and that was really special, that you didn't have to take that road alone. Pizza shops, what else? I was an Abercrombie greeter at the front where I was like, welcome, have fun. I worked at a tanning salon. Now I'm mad that I worked at that tanning salon. That was my pre-Glee life.
Beautiful. I was doing the restaurant valet game, but I did show choir in high school, and I loved. I'm probably aging myself, but there was a show called Nip Tuck, which Ryan Murphy did, which I loved in high school. So when I heard Ryan Murphy was doing a show choir show, I begged just to get an audition for any of the kids that and they didn't see me. But then they saw me for Karofsky and Azemio. I had to read for both parts, a couple lines, and then I got Karofsky, and it was 2 lines and a dream. And Cory Monteith welcomed me to set like no other, just took me under his wing, introduced me to his mom, made me feel so comfortable. I was already nervous because these guys, the pilot aired, I think, after American Idol. And it was Don't Stop Believin' was already the biggest thing in the world. And I was like, oh my gosh, I'm on the set of McKinley High, crazy. But then I did 5 episodes and I was still working at a restaurant. I was at Studio Cafe, and it was this weird, I was on set living my dream, and then I was getting yelled at because I forgot lemonade refills, and then I was on set, and it was really trippy. And only at the premiere party of season 2, Ryan Murphy came up and was like, we just wrote something really special for you. I had no idea because I was just I've just been throwing slushies saying weird things about haircuts. And so that was that. But it was the restaurant valet game. And but yeah, like you, kind of a weird, I was never really locked into the show. And it was always this weird dance of when will this end? So I just appreciated every day on that set.
For pre-Glee, I guess it started out, I was born as an infant. And then, at first grade, third grade, I had dreams of being on television. Eventually, I drove across the country with a suitcase and a dream to Hollywood. And I was able to wind up on television, which was so cool. I was on Drake and Josh and Wizards of Waverly Place. And I was always doing different things. Thank you.
This was after third grade?
What's that?
You drove in third grade?
No, I skipped. There was the time I skipped a whole lot. Yeah, 4th, 5th grade, that took forever. I'll tell you later. But then I got an audition for a show called Glee for the part of Randy Henkes, who was a jock in the Celibacy Club. And it was just for 1 episode. Randy Henkes turns into Jacob Ben Israel. I don't know if anyone knows that. My name was Randy. When we did that first episode, I was in the script, Randy. And it was then during the Push It concert, Ryan came up to me, and that's when he told me I'll be back. And he said, if you see a script next time, you're going to be Jacob. And all I was thinking, I'm coming back? And because when you're just hired for 1 episode, you never know. And it just, 1 episode turned into 21 episodes, and it turned into being here at Liverpool, which is just incredible.
It's because you're an icon. Icon. You worked more than all of us combined before Glee. Maybe not Matt. Pre-Glee, I did a little acting things here and there. I was in a boy band, and
Did you say you were in a boy band?
no, I didn't say
We're
that.
just gonna gloss over that.
I was in a boy band. What? Oh, that's not gonna happen. Glee will come back before NLT will.
NLT stands for not like
Okay,
them.
but we were. We're taking this on the road. Matt was also in a boy band. You can ask him about that when he gets.
All 6 of my boy bands, actually.
Which was actually perfect training for Glee because.
Oh my God.
I love how quick they came in with
It's
that.
been great
They
being
were
here.
waiting
Goodbye.
backstage. They were waiting for this moment backstage.
I was so serious. Look how cool I was.
I love your smize.
Oh,
Wait,
God.
Savage in that booth. up
Props to
there.
the production department, just like pulling that one up on the fly.
They were prepared.
They knew. Okay. Well, that was. But going. That being said, it was a great time. It was a great learning experience. But we did touring. We spent hours in dance rehearsal. We recorded. I was going to high school at the same time, so I'd be going to class until like 3 p.m. and then I would go record and rehearse until like 1 a.m. and then go to high school again in the morning. And when Glee came up, like any other random audition, I thought it was hilarious and like super, the teacher blackmailing a student because he had weed. I'm like, I'm in. And I had never really done that much acting. I'd done like some guest things and
The Office.
yes, I was in The Office. And I went and auditioned. I sort of bombed the audition, and the casting director was like, when you come back tomorrow, have another song prepared. I'm like, I'm coming back? Okay. And it was also, just real quick, I don't know where you guys auditioned for this, but it was one of those places where you can hear everything that's going on in the audition room. It's a nightmare scenario. So I knew when I went in there, I was like, they're going to hear me trying to act and then also not know the words to I'm Sorry, Liverpool, to Let It Be by the Beatles. I only learned the first verse, and he's like, keep going. I'm like, I don't know any more words. And, but I then went to the second audition the next day, and it was like 15 people. It went from auditioning one person to 15, like Ryan and Brad and Ian and all the people who made the show. And then the next day after that, they were like, we want you to test, but we haven't found anybody else yet. And so I had to wait 7 weeks before they had you and they had Leah, and they're like, we don't have any other Glee Club members, so you can't do anything for now. And I'm like, I've never tested for anything in my life, so cool. Is that a good thing? What do I do? And I just sat around hoping I wouldn't forget how to play the part I made up in my head.
Did you test with Jenna?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I tested with Jenna. I tested with Chris. Chris Colfer and I rode up in the elevator together, and he was reading Artie sides, and I was like, bro, I was just nice to you, and we're competing against each other. That sucks. And then he's like, oh, no, it's for a different part they made up for me. I'm like, well, good for you. You got the part. You got it. And then I also, like, when I tested for it, I tested against another kid who was in Spring Awakening with Leah and Jenna. And I was like, well, I'm not going to get this because there's clearly a trend, and they already have, like, all these incredible, like, Broadway actors in this show. But well, you never know. And I was sitting there texting my sister and my manager, like, it's been a good run. I got really far, and I'm really proud of that. And then yeah, I was like, I've never gotten this far on anything. I'll take it. But I got it and was just happy to have a job, And also originally, the show was supposed to just come on as like a mid-season replacement, meaning like we were going to start airing in like maybe April and run for a couple episodes. So I thought, best case scenario, this show's maybe going to do 5 or 6 episodes. And then we did the pilot, and the network saw the pilot and was like, we're going to hold off, and we're going to air 1 episode after American Idol, and we're going to pick it up for 13 episodes. And I was like, I can pay rent. I was like, are you kidding me? I had to borrow money from my brother and my manager to pay rent the money for the month that we shot the pilot. I was so broke. I couldn't even afford gas to drive in from where I lived to film. And so luckily, it got picked up. And we got to keep making it and make the best friends we've ever had over the next 7 years. So it was great.
And now you have expensive taste.
Well, that's your fault.
It's because you're not like them, right? Is that what it is? I had to.
Nice comeback. Nice comeback. Well, Heather, I thought Heather was going to mention this, but I was actually her manager at the pizza shop, and it was no, I was I was a busboy, waiter. I worked at the Gap. I was in charge of the denim wall for a long time, and then I had a pretty long Broadway career. I had done 7 Broadway shows before I got Glee.
Superstar.
Have any of you guys seen him live? Like, seen him on a Broadway show? Okay. This man.
Go watch some bootlegs on YouTube.
Go watch it.
Kiss Me Kate.
Star. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off, but star.
I know, right? Oh yeah, it wasn't 6 boy bands. You want to pull that up, please? Yep, there we are. Hey, we made it. Okay. So I had a great Broadway. I started my career. My first Broadway show was at 18, and I was in the ensemble of Footloose, the musical. And thanks, Mom. And then I kind of kept going up the ranks and started getting supporting roles and then leading roles. And I was doing a show called South Pacific when I got the pilot of Glee, and luckily they were nice enough to let me out of the show for a little while to shoot the pilot. I just turned 30. The first day, on the pilot, last day, I turned 30 years old, and then as soon as we were done with the pilot, I had to fly back to New York and go right back into the show that I was in. And when Glee got picked up, it was kind of a struggle because they were like, I don't know if we're going to let you out of your contract, my contract for South Pacific to do this show, but they did, and we made this pretty cool television show.
Very cool television show. Yes. Wonderful. Well, I could sit here and talk to you guys all day, but I know our fans are so excited, many of them in cosplay here at Comic-Con, which is so cool. Round of applause for you guys, really churning it out today. We are going to
Cheerios
go...
galore.
We're going to go to this microphone here, number 1 on the left. Hiya.
Hi, Rose.
Hi, Rose.
Hi. I wanted to know, for all of you, what's your favorite and least favorite thing about your character?
The misogyny of Artie.
Yes.
As the seasons go on, he just comes out with some very insensitive... I get tweets about it. You all know. But, it's the character. I'm like, okay, here we go. And then there were moments where he was really sweet. He was also a slut, but we don't slut shame.
No slut shame.
We're fine. He was with a lot of people, and that is fine. But, the Artie also, I think, my favorite part was also how, what'd you say? Oh, side conversation. He basically ended up morphing into me a bit. They just started writing, probably happened to a lot of us, where they just started writing for us, which was quite fun. And I like that I could just sort of be myself and like ad-lib a bit and get to sing some, they gave me a lot of like R&B things to sing. And I think probably my favorite part of Artie is the music he would sing. Yeah.
I would say I have a tie for my favorite parts. One was dancing at the Super Bowl show because I felt like he was, he was really happy. It just looked like, and like Mr. Shu accepted him, the Glee Club accepted him, and it was like a moment of acceptance that was beautiful. And then also that flash forward when you see him with like, his child and husband, and there's like happiness after the tragedy. Least favorite part was he never got to sing on the show.
Aww. Because you do come from show choir.
I do sing. I won't sing now. No, everyone have their
just sing right now.
My favorite part about Brittany, I think she was just loving of all things, all people, stillness, universe, life, like everything. She just accepted it all. My least favorite thing about Brittany was how people couldn't distinguish me from Brittany, and that was very hard for me because I would like say things and they'd be like, "Oh my God, that's so Brittany." I'm like,
you know, she came from me. That's my character. That's me. I'm like, this is me. So that was always really hard for me to get people to distinguish me, because, you know, like when you're in it all the time, you're like, I just want to be myself, and I just want people to love me. So yeah, that's my struggle.
I think my favorite thing about Jacob Ben Israel is that he was a pioneer and had his own web show before everyone had a YouTube show or everyone had a podcast. He was doing it, filming. But my least favorite thing is Jacob felt really comfortable just relaxing in the school library. And that's just not appropriate. So.
My favorite thing about Will Schuester was he was the beacon of what we all wish we had as a teacher. You know, that was very important to me to kind of be the teacher that, you know, everyone wished they had. And that was an honor for me to play that. My least favorite part was the all the exposition that I had to say in the show. All right, this is the lesson of the week, kids, and then I give you a full-on 2-page monologue about what the whole week was about, and these people will tell you sometimes those were pretty bad.
Mind you, you had to stare at like 16 kids and say this monologue. It's not like you did it with like a partner. There was like, we would sit here.
No, it was brutal. It was brutal.
Sometimes there's like, it's early, fall asleep, and he's getting to act against us, which was not fair. And it was pages of like non-fun language.
You can say bullshit, yeah.
But it was important and vital to set up the episode, just like Mr. Shu was to the Glee Club.
We've got a question over here on the right at microphone 2.
I wondered which was all of your favorite songs, and was there any songs you put forward that didn't make it to the show?
I love Dream On with Neil Patrick Harris.
Yes.
I recorded Robin dancing on my own, and I never got to perform it, and I was very sad about that.
Do you have that recording?
Favorite. It's out. I mean, you can download it. Yeah.
Okay, great news.
I thought the Glee Club did incredible with Toxic. I really enjoyed that.
I liked Cough Syrup.
Celebrity Skin was great. I love that too.
I was requesting songs all the time. They never got chosen. I really liked, oh gosh. I mean, I liked doing the dream sequences a lot. Safety Dance was really fun. Scream was really fun. But I also, we talked about this today, but I think as the years have gone on, one of the best performances we did on tour, just getting to watch, was River Deep, Mountain High. Like, ooh! Anytime you had like Nia and Amber just doing anything, it was like, yes, can we just do that over and over? Also, to watch Heather dance and perform in general is one of the greatest gifts anyone can. And it was.
I would aim my performance at Kevin.
Yeah, because you knew I was dying. I was like, give it to me. Because the reason why, you know, in Single Ladies, Beyonce only has 2 backup dancers, and there's a reason why Heather was one of them. Because she is special, and it was such a gift to watch like all of our friends just be so badass and so talented, and that was a gift overall to get to watch every single day.
I wish Disney bought Fox 10 years earlier, because I always thought it would have been the coolest if you guys did Disney songs. And that was, wow, no, it'll never happen now. We missed that. It's just a dream. I could dream about it.
You can. We're going to go up here to microphone 3 up at the top
Said it
left.
as Gucci Mickey.
Coach.
You loved it.
Sorry.
Mickey.
Can you all sing us a song?
I think they're off the clock. Yes.
Thank you.
It's very sweet.
I mean, Max?
I use auto-tune. I don't think they have auto-tune here.
Why no? No.
5, 6,
This is my
7,
life.
8.
Start spreading the news. I'm leaving today.
It's your moment.
I want to be a part of it.
Everyone!
New York, New York.
Yeah, buddy. Don't try to pass that shit off to me.
Yes. Thank you so much. We have a question up here on the top right at microphone number 4.
Hi.
In the episode Born This Way, you had T-shirts. What T-shirts would you have?
In real life?
Yeah.
Yes.
Ooh. That's a good question. That's a very good question. Somebody smarter than me start.
I think mine would say lazy AF. I'm pretty lazy.
Courage.
Shy.
Witty. Yours would be witty.
Quick
Thank
wit.
you. It's very nice of you to say.
Don't think too much.
Think more.
We love the honesty. We're going to go down here to microphone number 2 on the right. Hi there.
Hello. I don't know what I just said that. We had a fabulous Glee tribute act at the after party last night. So I was wondering if you guys had any party tricks up your sleeve or any favourite dance moves you could show us.
We did a TikTok earlier.
Oh, you did TikTok earlier.
Check out Heather's TikTok.
She choreographed us.
I didn't choreograph it.
No, she taught us the choreography.
taught them the choreography.
Amazingly
We're
well.
going to follow Heather
Very
Morris
efficient.
on TikTok. It's
Heather
a
Morris
great
TV.
choice. I'm glad I do it.
See,
I
wits. All wits.
My party tricks are basically just horrible versions of Beyonce and Rihanna. That's all it is, because I clearly cannot. But that.
I used to always break dance, but I call it broke dancing now, because every time I do it, I'm like, oh,
Hold something.
No, yeah, it doesn't feel right.
Did you do anything at the party? Did you dance?
You don't want to know what I got up to last night. Thank you.
Oh, I think we do.
Hi.
We're turning this back on you
Sing
guys.
for us.
Yeah. Color us intrigued.
There's a poll right there.
Oh, where's the poll? I love a prop.
We've got a question over here at microphone number 1.
Hi. So Glee had a lot of storyline, but of all the storyline, which one you wished didn't exist?
How much time you got?
For the record, we didn't write any of it. So, I don't, just, yeah.
I can't remember a lot of the story. I mean, it's been so long. And we were so in it. Some people talk about things that happened on the show. I was like, oh yeah. It's like I forget a lot of the stuff. And I watched the episodes when they came out, but I haven't seen the show since. I know Kevin watches it almost all the time,
I just every night before I go to sleep. I mean, storyline, I don't know. I think if anyone follows me on social media, what the Fox say could have just not happened. That would have been fine.
Kev, did we meet your parents?
Me?
Yeah.
You met my mom. You
Okay.
met Katie Seagal. Yeah.
That's right.
I wish there was more of her.
That's how I felt most of the time.
Yeah.
I just wanted more of I wanted more of Kevin's character. I wanted more of Jenna's character, meeting their parents. And I don't know. I just felt like those storylines we didn't get enough of.
Backstory. I like it. We're going to go up to microphone number 3 up at the top left.
Hi. Out of all the songs that had came out after Glee finished, what song would you have liked to perform on the show?
That's a good one.
At this point, I think we would have done a whole Bruno Mars dedicated episode. I think that would have been really fun.
I was thinking about this the other day, actually. I was thinking either Creep by Radiohead or Hurt by Johnny Cash would have been cool ones I would have liked.
I don't know if many people know this, but in the pilot, Mr. Shu was supposed to sing Vida La Vida, a Coldplay song. I feel but Coldplay didn't give us the rights to it. So, but they eventually came around and gave us some songs later on after we were a big hit. So, but
That was cold.
yeah, I always wanted
Fair.
to. I wanted to.
Fair.
Yeah,
you
fair,
know.
fair, yeah. But I wanted to sing that song badly.
Any Coldplay fans here? Yes. England's own. We're going to go to microphone number 4 up at the top right.
So first of all, I'm starting high school in September, and I really want to join a Glee club if I can. And my question was, so there were certain episodes of Glee that were dedicated to different artists, and which one was your favourite?
Good question.
I think the first one we did was Madonna, right? Yeah, the first dedicated episode. Somebody know that more?
Yeah.
And that was really special because it was really. I loved those numbers, and again, it was the first time we did something like that. And so seeing all of us play those different parts, and I remember watching the girls' number, and we were all like freaking out. Then she like tweeted about it. It was cool. I really liked the Madonna one, and also Britney.
Britney, obviously. For me, that was obviously. No, but it was just like just to watch Heather really show up. She had so much to do in that episode, and she was just like. Every number was amazing, and just to see the dedication that she brought to that episode was so special, and just like for her to have that moment and that whole kind of sequence of events, and those numbers are so iconic that she put on. So
when I was in 7th grade, I was obsessed with Britney Spears. I don't know if you guys remember getting her CD. But I remember I was at a sleepover with my girlfriends, and we got the pink CD with the cute little blue decoration on it, and we played Baby One More Time, and we were so excited. So from then on, I was obsessed with everything she did, and she did her VMA performance with, the school bell and the desks and stuff like that. So I decided I was going to recreate it at my talent show with my 2 best friends, who I made them do everything that I told them to do. And I recorded it, and watched it every day after school, and then I taught my friends, and we performed it. I actually had other guy friends who did like NSYNC and Backstreet Boys too, and it was just such a it was you and Matt. It was just such a full circle moment when I got to perform it on the show, because it was genuinely like baby me living out this dream of being Britney Spears. It was so cool. Yeah.
We have a question over here, microphone 2 on the right.
I have a question just for Matthew. I grew up watching Glee, but I'm actually currently obsessed with American Horror Story, and seeing you in season 9 was a massive shock. So I was wondering, was it a nice change to be in something so different?
Yeah, absolutely. Glee, we did it for 6 years, and it was. Oh, there he is.
That stash is hot.
That's Trevor. That's my real stash, by the way. And obviously the real chest here. But no, it was great. I love going out there, and obviously that's Ryan Murphy's world. So I knew it was going to be crazy, and I was such a fan of the show beforehand. So to get to do that part and to be a part of another iconic series was really incredible for me. But for those of you who haven't seen it, there's a lot of very special packages in that season. So
I can only imagine what packages mean.
Yeah, my mind is wandering too.
My mind is going other places. I don't know.
Yeah, let it wander. It's going to the right place.
Let it just get. So, but thank you very much.
Intrigued. We're going to go to microphone number 1 on the left. Hi there.
So this is a question from Mr. Will Susha. How did...
Yeah, you got it, bud. Yeah.
That was perfect.
So how did it feel working with Sue Sylvester?
Oh.
It was the joy of my career, and it was the scariest thing I've ever been a part of. I mean, she's a brilliant comedian, and for me, I had the hardest time the first couple seasons because I would mess up the takes because she would make me laugh. I just broke, and we'd have to record the whole thing over, and I couldn't stop laughing because she got me every single time. But the moment I changed it in my head, it was like, I'm gonna make her laugh. And that was my goal for the rest of like the seasons, and I did it like twice when I made her break, which was such an accomplishment for me. But it was amazing, and she's amazing, and she was one of my best friends on the show, aside from everyone here. Yeah.
Well said. Thank you so much for your question. Thank you, buddy. We've got a question up here on the left, microphone 3.
Hi. Were there any pranksters on set?
Any pranksters on set?
Yeah.
Yep.
Pranksters.
Yeah, one time it was during the my third episode, which was Throwdown, season 1, and I had a note in my trailer, and it said, "I'm really looking forward to our scene," and then it had a lipstick kiss, and it was signed Leah, and I was thinking, oh, this Leah girl who I've done 2 other episodes, she's a lipstick? Does she have a crush on me? Is she looking for... So I went to her, I told her, I got your note. She's like, what are you talking about? And I pulled the note out of my pocket. And she just grabbed the note and walked away. I found out a year later it was Amber. Yeah.
This is great.
Did you guys know that story?
I did not know the story. I didn't know that story.
Yeah, I knew that story.
I guess he knew that story.
I forgot about that. First of all, I don't think I was involved in the decision making. But yeah.
I had a good one. Myself in the transportation department on the show, Cory Monteith was getting, I think, loaners for these like really expensive cars, and he loved driving all these cars and stuff. But he had this Audi R8, which is like a super beautiful sports car, and he was driving it, and it was a loaner, so it wasn't his. And we put this sticker, but it looked like a tire mark on the whole side of it, like someone had completely like dragged and like scraped up the whole side of the car. And we showed him the car, and he was losing his mind. He was so like, oh no, oh my God, what am we? And he was like freaking out, and we were like filming it and stuff, and it was so funny because, and so sad at the same time. It was like, oh, I didn't mean to like make you feel that bad, but just a little.
We have time for one final question, and they've got to get back to their photo ops and autographs. Hopefully you guys can see them there. But our final question is going to microphone number 2. Hi there.
So what was like the most memorable or emotional scene for each of you that you remember? And just thank you for being awesome.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you for your question. Thank you all for being here. Yeah. Also.
Real quick, to the person that's about to do Glee Club, do it, because I did it, and my best friends to this day are from Glee Club, so do that. It's awesome. My favorite, most emotional scene was the kiss with Chris in the locker room. Just a dream to play that part, and I remember very clearly like rehearsing it with him, and it was like a closed set. It was only the people that needed to be there, the crew, the director, producer, and there was a producer there. I don't want to say his name, but he had never talked to me for like a year and a half, just like totally ignored me. But after I rehearsed the scene with Chris, like came up and like shook my hand and like gave me like that nod where it was like, okay, like, welcome to the show. And I was like, all right, this is a big moment. And working with Chris, just incredible actor, gave his all every take. I mean, 100%, knew his lines, prepared. So that whole scene was memorable to this day.
When Naya sang Songbird to me. Very beautiful.
I didn't have any emotional scenes, but it was just great when they did musical numbers and I got to be in the audience watching them, just watching this talented cast. And don't stop believing. That's my advice to you. Don't stop believing. I learned from the show. Yeah.
I think for me, the entire quarterback episode. That was the hardest thing we've had to do because it was all real for us, and yeah. So yeah,
On a much different note. it wasn't emotional, but I agree with all these emotional ones. So I'll lighten it up a little bit. I'm just going to say the Blame It on the Alcohol episode was a lot of fun. It was also because we got in trouble in real life. And
Why?
I don't know.
What happened?
Nothing. And nothing, Shu. And it was fun because it was something, out of the ordinary from what we were normally doing in the choir room every single time. And it was fun to see the writers and us get to play different versions of our characters. And it was just a really, really fun time. And I remember we were all sort of very excited about, like, how do we do this and not actually be drunk? And it was a real bonding moment. Also, we realized the writers were paying attention to what we were doing in real life.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you've enjoyed this panel. It meant a lot to me to host it as a big fan, so I'm going to get emotional, don't.
Also,
love all you guys.
Give it up. How good is she at this?
No, thank you so much. Please give a huge round of applause to these legendary actors. If you like, they're part of our lives. Heather, Max, Josh, Matthew, and Kevin, thank you so much.
Yeah.
The cast of Glee.
Thank you so much.
Keep it going for them, Liverpool. Yes.
Just a small town girl.
We have one more panel coming up, but let's hear it one more time for the cast of Glee. Thank you.
She took